welcome back to Beast Wars Wednesday. I'm your host, Predacon Paul. This is Decepticon Doug, and today we're reviewing the episode Power Rangers, the movie.
Yes. Not to be confused with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
Power Rangers, the 2017 movie that came out in 2017. It was a decent movie.
You know what? It was. I remember when it was announced and some of the early reveals, photography stuff. I was very skeptical.
You looked at it, you were like, this is garbage, I'm gonna hate it.
No, I was just skeptical. I try not to assume that something is going to be terrible, although sometimes I safely can. But this one I was on the fence about. I just kind of thought it was going to be really bad.
You know, I was hopeful as well, but I was also kind of skeptical. This movie was supposed to appeal to a more mature mindset, I suppose, in an audience. They took a more mature approach, as opposed to the show being straight up for kids.
And yeah, when I was in grade 3, I took it all very seriously.
Oh, me too.
I was really hooked into it, you know?
You know, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the show, the first season had some really mature themes in it as well, and you really grappled with the sense of loss in certain arcs, like the Green Ranger arc. You know, he's one of us, he's a good guy, but he's being corrupted, and so they did deal with themes that were a little darker in tone.
Back onto the actual movie, it does a pretty good job of updating the material, taking it a little more seriously, but not too seriously. I'm glad they didn't play it really dark or try to make it a legit gritty reboot or something like that.
What's a movie that tried that lately and failed? I know there's one.
I almost feel like that Archie show is trying to do that.
Oh, Riverdale?
Yeah.
I kind of like that show.
I haven't really.
Well, I've only seen the first 8 episodes.
I've seen pieces of it, and it's hard for me to watch this drama, and then them talk about Jughead. I'm like, you can't use Jughead in that sentence. That doesn't make any sense.
The only drama he has is between him and a platter of hamburgers.
You know, it's very generic and painted with a certain studio brush. I was just kind of worried it was gonna be one of those, and at times I'd say it feels like it. If I had a complaint with this movie, my biggest complaint is sort of the very, let's say, obvious, on the nose music cues. The songs that they pick for right at the end is something being, oh, we're heroes now, right? It's like,
Here's the thing.
Okay.
And I'm cool with that.
It's not a deal breaker, that's for sure.
But the movie was effective in that it spoke to the Paul that I remember being when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself while watching it the second time that if I were young me watching this movie, I would be all about this. I probably would have watched it to death.
Oh yeah.
The characters are a little over the top. I mean, they're supposed to be relatable,
Yeah.
right? I don't think they are.
But what I will say is that the young actors, for the most part, I think Billy, Jason, and Kimberly are the best of the bunch for the younger actors.
I think so too.
The other two were okay, but I think the Zach was a little hammy.
If I had to justify why Zach was a little hammy, it might be that that's how he protects himself from getting close to other people. Because you notice that when they were having that sit down, that little bonfire moment, he was the most grounded that he was in the whole film. But the entire time he's with them and interacting and he's being himself and he's over the top and a little hammy, it's kind of what the class clown does to protect himself from people seeing that he gets abused at night or that his, comes from a broken home, things like that. He's got a single mother who's, obviously very sick and he loves her to death, but the only real way he has to escape that particular world that he lives in is to act out and be larger than life, because maybe people will like him more, you know what I mean? We all do those things, right? We all compensate in certain ways. I think if I had to justify the motivation for him to be the way he is, that would be it.
I can buy it.
Like I said, there is that one moment where he is completely grounded.
True.
and there's like a real connection going on. I love that scene around the fire.
I do like moments like that where characters get real, for sure. Yeah, and just like, actually, I don't know if you've seen Suicide Squad.
Of course.
The one scene that I feel like is redeemable in that movie is the scene in the bar where they're just sitting down and being real with each other. And it's not early enough in the movie and it's not long enough, but as a scene on its own, it's a scene that I feel works. The campfire scene I see is something very similar, where it's like it's kind of real and it's a chance for them to just interact and be people and give the audience a chance to get to know the characters on a deeper level.
I wasn't a huge fan of Rita.
You know, I was surprised because I didn't like her very much either. I actually quite like Elizabeth Banks because she's very talented and she's got comedic chops. She just didn't make the right choices in this one, I don't think. It feels like she wasn't on the same page as everyone else in the movie, like as far as like her performance choices.
I think, yeah, it was too caricature-y. The movie, I think, suffered because, this is just my opinion, but if you look at the Rangers, especially when they're like ready to go and they're fighting tooth and nail, they're giving it their all, right? The actors are giving it their all, the stakes are really, really high, and you can see that there's that connection between all of them, and that raises the stakes again. But it's hard to take that seriously when you've got Rita opposite them.
This is going to be one of those movies that doesn't like live up to a lot of scrutiny. Like the moment you kind of like think about the actual story and how it plays out, you're not going to like find a lot of nuggets in there. It's a nice throwback movie that actually winds up being a lot of fun.
Oh,
And that's just kind of like what it comes down to, is that it's a bit of a nostalgic trip. It's smart enough to kind of be its own thing that's separate from the series. It's not high art, basically.
do you know what I think this movie could have benefited from?
What's that?
I think it could have benefited greatly from having a mini-series on Netflix released. So that way you could really get a chance to know each individual Ranger as they, I don't know, let's say went on a journey to find the other Rangers. I love the idea of Power Rangers having a big budget and being on the big silver screen. I'm all for that. That's your Endgame, that's your Avengers, that's your Justice League. But
Okay.
have a Netflix series of like 10 episodes getting to know each Ranger individually. Get to know them, their struggles, get to know, what makes them unique.
Ambitious.
And then when the movie comes out, you've already gotten to know them all, and then the stakes are already this high, and you don't need to split so much screen time between all these different characters, because the only character we really got to know was Jason.
I'd say,
We got snippets of other characters, but the person that we really got to know was Jason.
which is good. I think it's good to make it somebody's story. The Black Ranger and the Yellow Ranger, I feel like perhaps were underused. They didn't really get that much screen time and that much like time to like be really fleshed out. But
All in all, entertaining.
yeah, I thought it was fun. Part of me kind of wishes I watched it in theaters though. I know we tried to watch it in theaters, and literally the day that we
That's
went to go
right.
see it, it was gone, and it was literally gone out of every theater, and we're like, where did Power Rangers go?
It was only like 2 weeks, right?
No, it was a few weeks old, but but something big had just come out in theaters that I think knocked it out. I want to say the Fast and the Furious movie, like Fast 8. I feel like that came in and just like knocked a bunch of things out, and then we're like, where's all the movies we wanted to see? If you don't have any interest in Power Rangers, I don't see you getting much out of the film. I think it's a real treat for somebody who grew up with the show.
The original.
Yeah.
None of this light speed rescue, samurai, super animal force rangers. No, I mean the real Power Rangers. The one that used recycled footage from Super Sentai.
They all do.
Oh, do they?
They just all circle through different Super Sentai. Like,
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's as long as they have old Super Sentai shows or whatever it is, they'll keep making Power Rangers.
I like it.
Yeah, my nephew, who's like 5 years old, is big into Power Rangers. I mean, at least he was a few months ago. I mean, that could change at that age. But yeah, he watched them all. Like not every episode, but like he would watch episodes from any of them, and he just knew what they all were. And they were all the differences. It's kind of amazing.
If I may.
You may.
I may. I just might. Bulk and Skull. Where are they?
Oh yeah, that's right. There were no Bulk and Skull in the movie.
Yeah.
And those guys were in Power Rangers longer than any of the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I can even hear it right now. Anything else you want to add about Power Rangers?
No, if they make another one, I'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Definitely worth streaming. I'd still be kind of curious to see it in theaters, but I just love going to the theater and watch this stuff. So,
Me too.
Please let us know what you thought of Power Rangers, because
All 6 of you that are gonna watch this video.
yeah, let us know in the comment section down below. Give us a thumbs up if you agree, or even if you disagree and you just like us. And don't forget to subscribe and ding the little notification bell.
Tell your mom.
We'd love you, and yeah, your mom would love you if you tell her to. Finally, get your mom to love you for once.